Hello, Grapperinos, and welcome to another exciting episode of Probably Next Week on Raw. I'm Bryon, and I'm, as always, joined by someone who is so ready for the holidays. Mike, say hi, Mike.
Yes, I am ready to be disappointed again when we get a very shitty episode of Raw on January 5th.
Yeah! They're gonna do a bunch of victory lap stuff on Netflix. They're gonna thank Netflix for their 1 year of broadcasting Raw, and then they're gonna shit all over it by any means necessary. So yeah, that's great. But hey, that's on January 5th, and we got Christmas Raw to look forward to, and we also have Christmas SmackDown to look forward to. But before we get into that, I know last week I said that I guess we're not doing the Golden Jobber of the month for this month. Maybe we might save it for next week, but that's up to you, Mike. I want this decision to be on you. Do you want to do it for this episode, the Golden Jobber of the month, or do you want to do it for next week when we do Golden Jobber of the year?
I think we should do Golden Jobber of the Year. Yes.
Okay, so just the year, not the month.
Yes.
All right, cool. Now that we got that settled, I guess we'll just do the standard stuff as always that we do here, which is for those of you who don't know. We try to book the next episode of Monday Night Raw, and obviously we have the SmackDown side for SmackDown. And we try to book them with our predictions according to these rules. As always, well, as of right now, I should say, the first rule is kind of just, you know, crossed out because WWE doesn't follow the rule. And we will reinstate it once they do follow the rules. And after we tell you what we think is going to happen on the next episode of Monday Night Raw with our bookings and predictions, we will then watch the next episode of Raw as it drops. And then we will score our predictions and bookings based on this scoring system. And then we will tell you what we get on the next episode of this show. And we get to do it all over again. So, without further ado, let's get to the scores. I think I got a decent amount of points here. I have the appearances from Gunther, Punk, one half of the New Day, one half of the Usos, the Kabuki Warriors, and I had Logan Paul winning his match. And then I have Stephanie and Raquel kind of predicted, I guess. And the finish, so I think that constituted the majority of my points there. But what do you have, Mike?
I got mainly stuff from the Usos and New Day, um, and Gunther showing up. Didn't have much else. I thought Sami Zayn was going to show up, but he didn't, so
He's busy in Saudi Arabia right now. No,
he's
I'm kidding.
busy in Saudi Arabia.
He's preparing for his Royal Rumble moment, which may or may not happen. I'm not sure. We're counting on it may happen. But yeah, hopefully this week goes by better because I'm pretty sure I didn't really put much effort into the booking because it is a Christmas episode, and you know how these things go. They're always kind of slapdash. Not much going on, so I don't know. We'll just do what we can, I suppose. So let's get to the announced matches. We got Javon Evans as he takes on Rayo Americano. Yes, that is the name of one of the Americanos, apparently. And we also have Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. And we have Bailey versus Roxanne Perez to look forward to. So, without further ado, let's book this thing and get to my version of the show first. As AJ Styles and Dragon Lee hit the ring, they talk about, excuse me, what happened between the Usos and the New Day last week, and the Usos winning that match. He cuts a promo, or I should say, they both cut a promo on the Usos on the fact that AJ Styles and Dragon Lee are a better tag team. They are the best tag team on the planet, and they're not going to let the Usos take the titles off of them because they are that good. They're then interrupted by the Usos, who say that they're going to take the championship from AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, and they will be on top again. 4 letters, 1 word. Eat. And we have the match between the Usos and AJ Styles and Dragon Lee on the January 5th edition of Monday Night Raw for the Tag Team Championships. And I think if that match is announced for the January 5th show, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee retains, I think. And after the match, we're going to have the Usos go in a bit of a heel sort of standpoint and just run roughshod over every other tag team because they crashed out. Yes, I will have them turn heel because I think that's when they are the best. But I don't know. Considering Jey Uso's Yeet thing, I think they're probably not gonna take the risk. But what do I know? We'll move on to Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. I'm gonna have Rhea Ripley win by pinfall. After the match, Kabuki Warriors beat down Rhea and Io, and they stand on top. However, I think Rhea Ripley and Io will win their match on the January 5th edition of Raw. And then, I don't know, Rhea can chase after the. Well, yeah, Rhea can chase after the Women's US Championship, I guess, or Rhea and Io can chase for the Women's Tag Team Championships and do all that stuff. And oh, actually, it is a title match. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Rhea and Io are gonna win that. And yeah, I guess the Women's Tag Team Championships are relevant because it's on a top name. Whoopity doo. Moving on, Javon Evans, he takes on Rayo Americano. Is it Rayo? Rayo? Whatever the name is. I will have Javon Evans win. And then after the match, El Grande Americano and the other Americanos beat up Javon Evans. However, he is saved by Rey Mysterio. However, Dominic comes out and beats up Rey Mysterio. He picks up a mic, does a little promo. Dominic talks about how he is the best champion. He's the best Intercontinental Champion. He's the best Mysterio. He is such a good champion. And not only is he a good champion because he is Dominic Mysterio, the best Mysterio, because he has the best family with him. And he invites the Judgment Day to come out into the ring and basically cut a promo. Liv Morgan agrees with Dominic. He says, or she says, that the Judgment Day will come for all the titles. However, they are then interrupted by Adam Pearce, who says that he saw what just happened with Rey Mysterio. He is shocked. He is mad this would happen. And you know what? Since you guys want to come for those championships that everyone else has, I'm going to do you one better. I am going to have you, Dominic Mysterio, defend your title at January 5th on Raw against a mystery opponent. And I am going to have Dominic and the Judgment Day erupt in anger because of the announcement, because obviously they're heels and they don't want to defend their championships. So there you go. So, who would I have the mystery opponent be on the January 5th edition of Raw? I am going to have an NXT call-up. Probably someone like Ricky Saints, Tony D'Angelo, like someone from NXT who is ready to move up. And I will have that guy take the title off of Dom. I know, it's risky. They may not even do this, but I think that Dominic should probably be positioned higher. I think he's had a decent run as IC champion, and it's time to move on, I guess, and give something like, I think a face who is an IC champion. You have Rusev, you have Dom again, you have, I guess you can have Sheamus in the mix as well. Like, you have a decent amount of guys who can be on that pool. But I think an NXT call-up is needed because this roster is just tired. We need new faces. So, there you go. I guess the mystery opponent is an NXT call-up. That's what I will have, and I will have that guy immediately win the championship for that shock factor to generate a moment, because that is what WWE is all about. It's all about moments. And that is what I'll have there. Moving on, Nikki Bella, Maxine Dupree. Why? Well, in a backstage segment, I'll have Nikki mauled out to Adam Pearce that she didn't get a match against Stephanie Vaquer, which means she does not get her due as one of the women who brought women's wrestling to the forefront. She's then interrupted by Maxine, who, talks about, I guess, having a celebration or whatever. Nikki gets mad that she gets interrupted, and that's why we have this match. The match doesn't really go a long time because it will end in the DQ when Nikki is attacked by Raquel Rodriguez, and I think this will lead to a triple threat between Nikki, Stephanie, and Raquel at the January 5th edition of Raw, in which Stephanie Vaquer retains, and I am going to have Raquel remain in the ring as Roxanne comes out for her match against Bayley. And I will move to that now. Bayley wins by pinfall on this match, and I'm going to have Lyra beat up Raquel, and Bayley tries to beat up Roxanne. However, they are stopped by Nia Jax and Lash Legend, because I guess we have to build up this women's tag team division, I guess. And then maybe have Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss on the mix. Why not? I don't know. Gotta build up SmackDown somehow. And then, I really don't care about the women's tag team division right now. I honestly think Rhea and Io should win. But other than that, it's just whatever. Main event is not a match, but rather a segment called the Punk Braun contract signing. This is a contract signing for the January 5th edition of Raw match between CM Punk and Braun Breaker for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I'm going to have you know how these things go. Obviously, the challenger goes first, and then we're going to have the champion go. And then we're gonna have the challenger talk some stuff, and then the champion talks about some stuff, and then it goes off the rails, and they start beating each other up. However, I do think that Braun Breaker should be on top of this segment because I think Braun will win the match. I think they should give Braun the title at the January 5th edition of Raw. I think it will solidify 2026 as the year that WWE should probably course correct. And, they should try to sort of address the criticisms that the main event scene is full of older people, and that they should, keep their eye on the young talent and the future, basically. So I think they should put their title on Braun. That's why I had the NXT call-up win the Intercontinental Championship against Dominic Mysterio. Stuff like that. So that's why I booked it that way. But honestly, I really didn't put much effort into this, but whatever. It's Christmas. Who cares? Any questions?
Yeah, it's a lot of title changes. I mean, turn NXT called to an IC title? I mean, it's risky, I guess. But sure.
Yeah,
Makes John
I don't
Cena
know.
look like a weak sauce. So
You're still okay. Yeah. No. I mean, I think that statement from Saturday Night's main event was that, John Cena cares about the future, whether you think so or you don't think so. I think that John Cena cares about the future of the industry. I think that he wants to leave better. He wants to leave it better than when he found it, for sure. And that's why he had people like Joe Hendry and the NXT people show up, right? I think that's why John Cena wanted it that way. And honestly, if they want to follow up on that, and I know they are not going to do it, but if they want to, lean in on the goodwill, or I guess address the criticisms and get the goodwill back from the fans, then I think they should follow up on that. And well, I guess however you want to do it, they followed up on it kinda. So yeah, I do think they should try pushing the young talent, and I know they don't do that, but I honestly think come the new year they should try to course correct and just address this criticism head on and just change some stuff. Just be risky. Like just just be risky at one thing. That's all. But any other questions besides that before we move on to your card?
So you think Dominic is going towards the world title scene?
I think so. I mean, if Braun Breaker wins the championship, right? Then I think Dominic will be on that spotlight next year. Not this year, but next year. Probably after WrestleMania when a babyface like catches it from Braun, right? Maybe like Seth Rollins comes back at WrestleMania and takes on Braun and Seth wins and he's a babyface and he could try challenging against or he could try defending against Dom in like the later half of 2026. So yeah, I do think Dominic will be on contention for that title. Like I think him as Intercontinental Championship holder has gotten kind of boring, I guess. It's just, I think it's time for him to be moved up. I guess push him for the higher titles because of the fact that he is one of the over superstars on the roster. So, yeah, that's what I think anyway, and that's what I think they'll do. They operate on popularity unless you're LA Knight, apparently. But yeah, that's what I'll have them do, I guess. Or that's what I think they'll do.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Well, there are no further questions. We'll move on then to your card, starting off with.
So I'm having the vision come out because last week, I don't know if you saw this, Brian, but Austin Theory was finally revealed as the fifth man. That we all knew that he was going to be from like the
I
beginning of
forgot
this
I
whole
forgot
thing.
about that. Yeah, he
Yes,
was.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was very forgettable. It was very forgettable because he revealed himself, and the crowd was, I guess, a mix of confused and also like underwhelmed because they were like, "Well, okay, I guess that's where Austin Theory was."
Also, Austin Theory has been kind of treated like a joke, so it's kind of weird that he would be positioned now as a member of the Vision. But do continue.
So I think they come out with Austin Theory. He explains himself, why he joined the Vision, and they're all interrupted by a CM Punk who comes out and basically again talks about his match next week, or in 2 weeks on the first episode of Raw in 2026. Um, and yeah, that's this promo.
Do you think that Punk retains on the January 5th episode of Raw, or do you think that Braun Breaker finally takes it and runs with it?
I think I think Braun takes it. Honestly, I mean, I don't think that you usually don't have two faces going into you know going into well, not WrestleMania, but the usually you want like a face and a heel because you don't have two faces going into WrestleMania.
Okay.
So
So, are you still sticking from the standpoint of Sami Zayn winning the Rumble and maybe challenging Braun?
yes,
I suppose. Okay. Wow. Okay. I honestly wouldn't mind Sammy and Braun as long as there's story there. But yeah, I don't mind it. It would be a good match. I just need them to make us care about it in some way. So, all right, we'll move on then to
Rayo Americano, great photo by the way. Um, versus
I think that's
Javon
him,
Evans.
by the way. I think that's him. Or is it the blue mask guy? I'm not
I
sure.
think he's the blue one. I think he's the blue one. But
Okay. Well,
anyway, Rayo Americano is actually Pete Dunne. So they confronted
really?
last week. Yes. Yeah, Rayo Americano. I think it's Pete Dunne and his other former tag team partner. Who was his tag team partner?
Oh God, what's his name? Um, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But
They're Rayo and the other they're the two Americanos. Yeah.
did you expect that his name would be Ryo?
What does Rayo even mean?
I don't know. I have no idea. I think this is them trying to find like a Spanish name for Ray, but they end up bungling it and making it like English American kind of Spanish. So it's Rayo, I guess. Like they wanna make it Rayo or like Ray Americano, and then they're just like, we'll just add some letters, whatever. It's just Rayo, I guess.
Well, I think Javon wins this one anyway. Um, despite actually no, sorry, I think Javon loses this one thanks to interference from El Grande Americano. And this probably sets Javon onto his first feud with El Grande Americano.
What a feud, huh?
I know.
Okay.
Remember when El Grande Americano was in like that 6 man fight for like the IC title or whatever?
Oh yeah, yeah,
That was the highest he's ever been.
yeah.
And
That's
ever
true.
since he's been just like a guy.
He's just a guy. To be fair, he's doing better in AAA than in the WWE. Do you see
Oh, that
what
yeah.
he gets a huge pop in AAA? Holy crap! He continues to have a great pop in AAA, and people say that Mexicans get offended by that by that gimmick. No, they are not, bro. They're in on that joke, man. That's crazy, and I like that. But yeah, all right. Do you Do you think Javon Evans wins this feud? I guess against El Grande Americano, or because like I don't know if this is going to be a feud or if Javon Evans just moves on to the next random jobber that comes up.
Yeah, I think Javon Evans wins this. I think they're gonna revisit the El Grande Americano stuff when Chad Gable comes back.
Okay, yeah, like next year probably or early next year, I suppose. Hopefully he does come back soon. Although I don't know if he would take on the El Grande Americano character because of how well he is doing without Chad Gable's intervention, so he'd probably come back as like himself or something. So I guess that would be fine. All right, we'll move on then to
We have Roxanne Perez versus Bailey. And this was because last week I believe they had a match. Was it uh, Lyra versus? No, I forget why I booked this, but I think they had some interaction last week that is forcing this match this week.
um. Okay, this is announced.
Oh yes, okay, it is announced. Thank you for reminding me that
Yeah.
what happened. So yes, this was announced, and I think honestly Roxanne takes this one. She's taken a lot of L's lately, and they really need to move on from this Bailey Lyra thing because it has gone nowhere. So
How can you take L's if Dominic is your boyfriend? I guess. I guess Dominic as your boyfriend is kind of not an L, but at the same time, I mean, Dom is kind of a cuck, so Is it an L? I'm not quite sure. But I do get your point about Bailey and Lyra being stale. I don't know where this is going. I think this is just to build up their camaraderie and build up their women's tag team situation so they can, I don't know, just try to go and be on that contention for the women's tag team championships. So I think I think that's what they're trying to do at this point. And do you honestly think that Bailey and Bailey and what's we forgot her name already, Lyra? Do you think that Bailey and Lyra will eventually get those championships next year?
Probably not.
Okay. So you think that it will stay on the Kabuki Warriors for quite a while?
No, I think it can bounce around to other teams probably.
Okay. All right. Sure. Yeah, honestly, I think this situation is just kind of weird, and I don't think people care too much about it. I'm not quite sure, but yeah. Anyway, we'll move on then to
Gunther promo. Gunther comes out to a bunch of heat again, and he kind of addresses what is next for him, uh, and he says, "Well, CM Punk is involved in all this Vision business, but he has to look out for himself because I am also coming back from my title that I previously had, and this man is going to be interrupted by AJ Styles. I think this is AJ Styles' first feud going into his retirement year. You see, he confronted him last week when Gunther left the building after coming back after beating John Cena. So I think AJ Styles confronts him, and that starts their feud going into the Rumble, probably.
he retired Goldberg, he retired John Cena. So obviously the next story is to retire. They're gonna have Gunther retire AJ Styles. They're gonna have him retire all your favorite wrestlers. That is what they're going to do with Gunther. So I guess the question is, if the final match, or I don't know when you think this match against Gunther will happen. Maybe like at the start of next year at the Rumble, or maybe like at the end of the year as his retirement match. But how do you think? Do you think that they should book the last year of AJ Styles with Cena? Like, would you have like a tournament where a bunch of people
No,
like,
no, I think
yeah,
I don't think they should do that because the way that Cena's retirement tour was received was very bad. So
yeah. So how do you think they should fix it? Do you think that they should just
put him in
uh
meaningful storylines and let him choose his last opponent.
all right,
Yeah,
a succinct
probably he
answer.
probably goes to TNA. He probably goes back to TNA for a few matches as
Oh, that
well.
would be
I
that would
would
be pretty
assume.
cool. I would
Yeah.
love to see an AJ Styles versus like Jeff Hardy match. That would be sick. That'd be cool. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. Succinct answer, but I like that. We'll move on then to
We have Raquel Rodriguez versus Nikki Bella. These two are involved in the women's title picture. Nikki Bella cost Raquel the match last week. I don't think she cost her the match. I think she just caused a DQ. Uh, so I think that Raquel takes care of business this week. Nikki Bella can finally get out of the title picture. I don't know why she's in the title picture. She is 2 for 7 in her matches since she came back, so she is definitely not deserving of a title shot whatsoever. And I think that this sets up the feud to continue into the Rumble between Raquel and Stephanie.
so do you think it's going to be a triple threat match, or do you think that it's going to be like one or the other against Stephanie on a one-on-one match?
No, it's gonna be Raquel and Stephanie. Yeah.
Okay. And Stephanie retains, I'm guessing, right? In your opinion?
Yes.
All right. Who do you think should be Stephanie's WrestleMania opponent?
Probably whoever wins the Rumble. Most like, actually no, it's gonna be Bianca. So probably whoever wins Survivor Series, which should probably be Liv. I would
Elimination
say.
Chamber, you mean?
Yes, sorry, Elimination Chamber. Yeah, it doesn't help that they've also had Elimination Chamber be in Survivor Series as well. So
Yeah, kind of. But yeah.
they have had it before. Yes, they've had a Survivor Series Elimination Chamber, Brian.
Oh, they had. Yeah, yeah, of course. In the past, yes.
So probably Liv Morgan. Yeah, that makes the most sense to me.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, that
They
makes
love to
sense to
run
me
shit
too.
back. You know this.
Yeah. All right. And I'm guessing Liv Morgan takes the title from Stephanie Becker.
Yes.
Okay. Great. All right, we'll move on then from that to
Rhea versus Asuka. The Kabuki Warriors are feuding with Rio, and I think this is the start. Well, this is the start of their feud because typically it's one half of the tag team versus another half of the tag team, and the next week you have the other halves face each other. So I think Asuka probably picks up the dub here, and then Io probably picks up the dub next week. So
all
yeah,
right.
50-50 booking. I think the Rio won last week, so you have Asuka pick this up, and then Io pick it up next week. And then going into the Rumble, you probably have. I would say you have Rhea and Io win the tag team titles.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't really much. I don't really have much to say here. So we'll move on then to the main event, which is
CM Punk and the Usos versus the Vision. Um, I think that CM Punk probably wins in this one, thanks to a miscommunication between. Actually, you know what? No, I think the Vision win here, because you can't have Austin Theory lose on his first night back in action, um, and I think the Vision take this one. CM Punk probably has a match next week or is involved in a match next week where he wins, and then he loses on the first Raw of the year. So
all right. I mean, I guess you don't have Logan Paul on here. I guess Logan Paul is a member of the Vision, so you could probably have Logan Paul interfere in this match. Would you say that that's accurate or
you could throw Logan Paul in here too. I think it's probably going to be Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and
and Austin
Austin
Theory?
Theory. Yes.
Okay. All right. What did you say? What happened after the match? Did you say anything about that? Because
No.
right. Oh no. Okay. All right. So you said that Braun would basically take the title off of Punk. Do you think that would? You think that would happen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So all right. Do you think that? So basically, the Usos are back as a tag team, right? And I guess I'm asking about the fact that AJ Styles and Dragon Lee are the tag team championships, or yeah, the championship holders of those belts, right? So, considering the Usos won, would you think that AJ Styles and Dragon Lee intervene in this match, sort of build up their feud, I guess, or
No, no, I think they have like a face versus face
okay,
match probably sometime down the line where AJ and Dragon Lee give up the titles.
okay, yeah, fair enough, yeah. I would say that's accurate for sure. All right. Well, I guess that's what we have. It's a Christmas episode. Well, yeah. It's a Christmas episode, so not really much else to say about that. If you are celebrating Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas. And to those who celebrate other holidays, well, we wish you happy holidays. And as we stated earlier, we're going to watch the next episode of Monday Night Raw as it comes out. We're going to try to get through it, and we are going to score our predictions and bookings and then come back here. And we will do our annual, I guess this is annual now, our annual Golden Jobber Awards, where we award our Golden Jobber of the Year. And we list out our nominees as well, from which we pick the Golden Jobber that we think is the most suitable of the LA Knight Memorial Golden Jobber of the Year Award. So, until then, thank you for ordering a pepperoni pizza called Probably Next Week on Raw from Grapperinos. And remember, if you're down for some fresh, oven-baked, crispy wrestling content, stop on by Grapperinos and order yourself some content you can grapple with. See you next time, Grapperinos.